Hello and welcome back to another episode of the new podcast where we dive into the jewellery boxes of some of our favourite people. And today I'm joined by an amazing musician who's worked with the likes of Camila Cabello, Sam Ryder, Leanne LaHavis. She's a named writer on a song for Doja Cat, which got herself 2 Grammy nominations. And she also has the voice of an absolute angel. I'm thrilled to welcome Laura Roy.
Hello.
Hello.
That was great.
Did you like that intro?
Yeah, I loved it.
Do you wish you had that kind of intro every day, just in the morning?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
But sometimes I hear it and I'm like, oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, you're just like, what did
weird.
I?
You forget. It's
Really?
nice to be reminded sometimes, so yeah.
It's incredible.
But not every day. I don't need to be reminded every day.
Well, you should be incredibly proud and we're excited to hear more about it.
Thanks.
Let's start from the very beginning. I want to know
oh gosh,
where it started. How did you get to where you are today? Doing what you're doing, working with those incredible people.
Right. Well, I'll have to give you the very short, condensed version.
No, as long as you like.
But essentially, I grew up in a place called Nova Scotia, which is a province on the east coast of Canada. So I grew up in like rural Canada, little country girl in a little village called Canning. And essentially, it's kind of, I've just been graduating from city to city. I first moved to Halifax, which was the local city, an hour and a half away. 18 years old, first time getting on public transit for the first time.
Really?
Going to school, studying, like mind kind of blown already there. Eventually moved to Toronto on and off for a couple of years. And then in 2017, decided to move to London and have kind of just been building in my career since then. London's the longest I've ever stayed anywhere. So really? I feel like London is my second home, but essentially it's just been writing and performing for the last decade.
Oh my gosh. And why London back in 2017? I
think, well, London's just an incredible city. There's so many amazing artists, amazing musicians. I just hadn't experienced a city like London. I think as well, Canada's such, like it's a newer country, I guess, when you think about it. And basically, when I came to London, I was just so fascinated by how rich the culture was, how multicultural it was, how much insane energy and talent was here. And I was just completely inspired. I hadn't really experienced it before. So,
amazing.
Yeah.
When did you start writing songs? When you were 19, did you say?
No, way before that.
Really?
Yeah. So I was probably 10 maybe.
Really?
Like just writing songs from when I was really young, just like making up songs, poetry, all these things. Then I was 14 and I asked my parents if I could go into guitar lessons and they put me into guitar, kind of started putting it to chords and music, and then have just been writing really since then.
Amazing.
But yeah.
So I am a humongous fan of Leanne LaHavis.
Yeah?
And
she's incredible. She's one of my favorite people ever.
Talk to me about that. What was it? So you've worked with her multiple times now?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So talk to me about that. How did that come about? What was it like?
Yeah, well, she actually co-wrote a song on one of my last projects. So it was an EP called Tides, which was actually an ode to my upbringing in Nova Scotia.
Amazing.
And yeah, it was a session that I did with Gio Jordan, who's an incredible songwriter, musician, and yeah, we just got in the room and the song just flowed out. And yeah, we just had some amazing harmonies, moments together, just jamming in the room. And she's just one of my favorite voices in the world. That was definitely like a moment to be able to work with her. But she's incredible, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And what is it like? What is it like co-writing with someone like that? What is it like, if you're already a fan of their work,
right? How
did that feel having him be a part of your work?
Yeah, I think you have to just put it all out the window, to be honest, like, because at the end of the day, you're just trying to connect to something greater. And I think the more you just can forget about all of that stuff and just be present and be there with the person, the more you're just going to be able to work well and just get the ideas out. So I think it kind of, for me, it goes out the window because it just becomes about the music, which is my favorite part of the process, really, because it's just about being present and just being connected, which, yeah, I love.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Now, we've got to talk about the fact that you are 2-time Grammy nominated. Nominated for 2 Grammys, not 1, 2. That is...
Yeah.
And you're 31?
I am. Yeah.
We've done our research.
Nice.
Thanks. I don't know what star sign you are though. What star sign are you?
I'm a Libra.
Oh, coming up. Your birthday's coming up.
Yeah, I'll be 32.
Oh, nice.
Which I'm quite excited about. I've always felt like 32 was going to be a significant year for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, watch this space.
Yeah.
So can you try and summarize the feeling of being nominated for 2 Grammys and that whole experience?
Yeah, it was wild. I actually went to the Grammys, which were in Las Vegas, which is an experience in itself.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But then to go to Vegas for the Grammys is a whole other thing. And yeah, it was something I hadn't experienced at all before. Doing the whole red carpet thing was just kind of surreal. Like I said, I come from a little tiny village, and even sometimes being in London, I have to pinch myself. But yeah, it was bizarre doing like the red carpet, seeing so many different artists that I admire and grew up listening to. And yeah, it was just a pretty surreal experience. I think I'm still kind of processing it. I look back at the pictures and I'm like, wow, I actually went to the Grammys.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, but it's cool.
You did wear Daisy to the Grammys, didn't you?
I did.
Can you remember what you wore?
I wore a few of these things actually. I think is it the Apollo chain in my whole
yeah, I can see the Apollo chain. He's there somewhere.
Big chunky one.
Yes. I'm very impressed you know the name of it.
I will say one of your co-hosts just said it. And so it was deep in my brain.
Oh, well done.
Yeah, I wore, God, I'd have to look back at the pictures.
Black dress? Was it black outfit?
It was all Daisy jewelry.
Yeah.
And I basically wore a kilt and this leather kind of corset vibe. The kilt was kind of a little homage to Nova Scotia, which actually is New Scotland. So we have a lot of like Celtic heritage in Nova Scotia. So I thought that was kind of a fun nod. And Doc Martens shoes, which were not broken in. So by the end of the night, my ankles were bleeding.
We've all heard about that. Oh my gosh.
Not the wisest decision, but worth the pain.
Of course.
And yeah, it was just bizarre and beautiful and really cool. Got to do it with Gio Jordan and Lyndon J, who also were on the album as well. And so that was just really amazing to have that experience with them. We drove from LA to Vegas together, and it was just kind of a whole
road trip,
Crazy whole experience. So yeah, it was super fun.
Amazing. So let's talk about the song that you did co-write with Doja Cat, for Doja Cat.
Yeah, Alone.
How did that come about? And talk to me again about the process of that.
I think this was just coming out of COVID era. So a lot of us were just still like working from home. So Lyndon, Gio and I got together and basically kind of were just throwing a bunch of ideas down, and ideas were being sent over to LA. And sure enough, one of them got picked up by her, and we got word that it was going to end up on the album. And you hear these things all the time and you just never want to get your hopes up.
Sure.
But yeah, essentially I didn't want to believe it until I actually heard it. And when it came out on the album, they also kept my backing vocals on the track as well. So I had a little scream about that.
Yeah.
So it was just amazing to think that this little idea that was birthed in wood green in our
there we go.
At the time
really
made its way over to Doja Cat in LA, and got nominated for a couple Grammys.
That's amazing.
So it's pretty freaking cool.
And Doja Cat, she just fascinates me.
Yeah, she's just doing her thing.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah.
I think I'm right in saying you've been a Daisy fan for a while.
Yes, clearly.
Can you remember your first Daisy piece that you got?
To be honest, I think it was for the Grammys.
Was it?
Which is why Daisy holds a special place in my heart, because I literally still wear a lot of the jewelry that I wear for that experience. And it was quite nice, because a lot of the times the jewelry that I pick up is just little things that I find at markets, and they're really personal to me, and it's sweet. But it was quite nice to have what felt like pieces that were really special and beautiful for kind of more of a special occasion. So,
oh my God, I'm so glad that we were a part of your Grammy adventure.
Right? Red carpet.
Yeah. I love that.
Mm.
Okay, talk me through your jewellery look today. Before we go into your significant pieces, what are you wearing today?
Well, I was going to try and do less is more, but then I just was like, you know what?
I think more is more always.
Pile it on.
I love it.
I kind of go in between. Sometimes I wear this much and then I try and scale it back to 1 or 2, but I usually just like to wear as much as possible. But I've got my Odyssey chain. So this is a customized daisy piece.
It is. For those listening, Laura's got, it's like a nameplate or a word necklace. And we got that. The team made that for you when you released that.
So special. Yeah. So this was from a project that I released back in March. So it's my new EP, which you should go listen to.
Of course, we will listen to it.
Yeah, so this is really special because this kind of marked that for me, and it's a really special personal project for me. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I've got this Apollo chain that I wore at the Grammys. There's a whole bunch of other things on here. I think they are pretty much all daisy chains except for one of them.
Yeah, I can see Magnus. I can see the Figaro chain.
Yeah, and then this one I usually... A lot of times I love little crystal pieces, so I have different pendants and I'll kind of just slide them on one of the chains depending on my mood or what I feel like I need. So I like to switch it up in that way. And then rings-wise, I've got a few things, just little personal things. This is like a humpback whale ring, which is my favorite animal.
Nice.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
And I got this in Paris in a little shop. This is actually really special, which was given to me in high school. And then I got it back recently when I went home to Nova Scotia. But it's my mom's high school ring, which I didn't really realize isn't much of a thing here. Yeah, my friend was like, what's a high school ring? And I was like, oh. But basically, when you graduate high school, which is school for us at 18, it's like the end of your schooling. A lot of times, it's not maybe as much of a thing anymore because I don't think I had one when I graduated. But back in the day, it was more of a thing. And this was kind of to celebrate graduating high school. So it's actually got my mom's name in it. Engraved.
Love that.
Beverly Camp. And it says the year of graduation in the high school, which is really special. Because my mom's not really a jewelry person. Like we don't have pieces in the family that are like passed down or anything. If anything, my mom is so anti-sentimental about things.
Right.
So I have to fight for the things sometimes in the house because I'm like, Mom, like this is special. Like don't lose this or like keep this because she'll just give things away. And
my mom's exactly the same. Right? It's very frustrating, isn't it?
I know, but I kind of love it. I love her for it that she's not attached to things. But at the same time, I just have to make sure that I grab the things that I want. So I think I found it, it was just like completely dirty in a random box somewhere. So I cleaned it up and was super excited about getting it back because I remember she gave it to me a long time ago. So so it's nice to have a little piece of kind of my mom with me. And then otherwise, just lots of cute daisy pieces. These chain rings actually are my faves. I wore those at the Grammys as well.
Did you? And they're so good because they're so light.
Yes.
You kind of forget you've got them on.
Yeah. And I add them with this ring and it kind of looks like it's one big ring.
Yeah.
I love.
Before we dive into your significant pieces, why do you think jewellery is so important to people?
I think it's just a tangible thing that you can have to either mark a special moment or something really personal to you. Even for me, I've grown into being more of a jewelry person and it has much more importance to me now than it used to. And, you know, it's memories, it's personal attachments to people or family members. And also even sometimes if I feel a bit uneasy, I'll even kind of grab my chain or I'll grab a pendant and it kind of grounds me. So that's what it means to me. But I think also probably other people feel that way as well. Yeah.
Totally. It's just really interesting hearing, because I ask that question to everyone and it's always that, it's just that magical thing that jewelry holds, like you said, a marker of a moment, or it's been handed down, or it's like a talisman, or like a grounding.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, my mum never wore jewelry apart from earrings. For her, that was just, and never wore makeup.
Right.
But just wearing earrings was that one thing that made her feel just a little bit put together.
I love that.
And it's just, the jewelry has that kind of, I don't know, magic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, let's dive into your significant pieces. You've brought a few.
Okay.
So where do you want to start?
Maybe I can just start about my little crystal pendant.
Yeah. Do you want to hold the box? Is that easier?
Sure. Okay, so like I mentioned, I love having different kind of crystal pendants that I can just swap on a chain depending on my mood or what I'm feeling or what I feel like I need. So I've got a few different ones here. This is just a really nice piece of turquoise that I got on a trip in Lanzarote. You've got moonstone.
Nice.
I've got the heart pendant. That's Daisy.
Daisy rose quartz. Yeah,
yes,
lovely.
The rose quartz. Yes, exactly. I've got some amber.
Nice.
So I kind of have like a little bag of these, and this is my little way of kind of expressing myself. You know, when I get up, I'm like, ooh, which pendant do I want to wear today? And that kind of grounds me in a way, because I mentioned I like to hold them sometimes if I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed. So these all kind of are quite special to me. So I have a little collection of those.
So for those listening and who can't see, Laura has 5 little kind of pendants, all different sizes, lots of different stones. We've got turquoise, moonstone, amber,
rose
quartz.
I forget what this one is, but
that
I've got a few more.
Like Labradorite? No, that's not. I can't remember what that blue stone. Anyway, I love that, and it's so nice. Like you said, depending on how you're feeling that morning or how you want to feel that morning.
Yeah.
Or you want to channel that day.
Yes, exactly.
Nice.
Which I love. And then I also, kind of similar, I swapped these on a chain, but these are actually my nanny's charms from an old charm bracelet that I found.
Nice.
I don't know, probably from like the 60s or 70s, 60s probably. Yeah, and I found it at home, once again, like I said, just hidden in a box somewhere, and just thought it was so amazing. So what I did is I actually kind of clipped all the charms off, and I just wear them individually on a necklace.
On a chain, nice.
So this one that I'm wearing here says good luck, and it's got a little 4-leaf clover thing. And then she's got some other ones she passed on when I was maybe 16 or 17. We were quite close. I actually took care of her for a while and was living with her. So this is kind of a way that I feel like I can carry her spirit with me. But yeah, they're all from little trips that she's done. This is St. Pierre, which is a little island off the coast of Newfoundland on the east coast of Canada.
Wow.
And this one says Quebec. So they're just all from little trips. And I like to think about when she would have bought those and all the memories that would be attached to it. So it's just quite a sweet connection that I have to her wearing that on my neck.
That's really special.
Yeah.
And she was a silver girl as well.
Clearly, yeah. I got it from her. I got a lot from her, I think. So I'm grateful for that.
That's really nice. I love that. Yeah, like you said, imagining her choosing that piece and adding it to her bracelet.
Yeah.
And telling her story a bit more. It's so nice.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very into imagining those stories. I think probably the songwriter in me, I often think and contemplate a lot about that and kind of, picture all of those things. So I love that about these.
Lovely. You've kind of Laura's broken the rules slightly. We say 5, but you've done like 5. We've done 10 pieces already now. We're collecting
no, these
those
count as one.
Yeah.
It's one idea, so I just sprinkled them all in.
I'm just teasing.
No, I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, where do you want to go next?
Yeah, I'll keep these ones a bit more short and sweet.
No, they don't have to be short and sweet.
Well, I already mentioned about the high school ring. I think that's definitely...
Do you know what stone is in that ring?
No.
Do you think it's a precious stone? Looks like it could be. No.
Probably not.
It's a red stone.
It's probably just like a semi-precious something cute. I can't imagine it's like worth a ton of money, but it looks beautiful.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah. So that's definitely my special one, the one I mentioned that's got my mom's name engraved in it that I recently stole back from home. This one's quite special to me as well. This was a gift from my great friend, Matthew French, who was someone that I started playing music with from the age of like 15. And we were actually in a duo together for years. And sadly, he had an accident and has a brain injury now, but is kind of one of my biggest cheerleaders. And we talk all the time. And this was a really special ring that he gave me a few years ago, which is a clawdaw ring. Amazing. Which again kind of has that Celtic link. So that's a very special ring that I have from Matt. Nice. Shout out to Matt.
Yeah, shout out to Matt.
And then, so that's like 4 pretty much. And let's say this ring as well, because this was, again, nothing crazy expensive, but this was a little gift to myself for my 30th birthday.
Nice.
So what I love to do is I love to just be alone, go into a shop. You know, the shops that have like all of the rings with the gemstones.
Yes.
There's one back home in Nova Scotia called Black Market. And they'll pull out all the thingies and you can just have a look at them all. So I'll just stay sometimes for probably way too long.
Really?
Like over an hour, just
Searching.
completely overanalyzing every ring, reading all the meanings of the gemstones, and just finding the perfect ring that I feel like is speaking to me for whatever that kind of special occasion is. So for me, I felt, you know, very excited about turning 30 and having that new chapter. And this was the ring that I chose.
And what is the stone? Do you know?
Yes, I do know. It's watermelon tourmaline.
Okay, yeah, nice.
Is that how you say it?
Tourmaline, I think.
Tourmaline, watermelon tourmaline,
Nice.
which I had never seen before.
No, can I have a look at it?
Yeah, so if you hold it up to the light, you can kind of see it's got like the purple and green. And don't ask me what it means.
No, that's fine.
But it was something at the time that I was like, yep, that's what I need. That's me.
Love
so I went for that one, and that one's, you know, quite special because it marks kind of the turn of a new decade, a new era for me. So those are some of my special pieces.
I really, really love them all.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm all for buying yourself birthday presents.
Right?
Self-gifting at birthdays, absolutely.
It has to be done.
I love it. I love it. Okay, thank you for sharing your significant pieces.
No, thank you.
Coming back to your songs.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite song you've ever written?
It's hard, but I think it's always going to be the most recent songs that I've written. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just think for the sake of answering the question, on the EP that I just put out, which is called Odyssey, you should go listen to it. I would say there's a song on there called Call Me. I'm just kind of picking these on the spot, which is a deeply personal song, and it's about feeling a kind of distance between a family member and kind of processing those emotions and feelings. And I think, that was the most personal song probably on my EP. So I would say that one's my favorite. But then fast forward to now, which I'm writing for my album, which is really exciting. I'm always going to be the most excited about the newest stuff that I'm writing. Sure. So there's a few new songs that I'm very excited about.
Amazing.
Because I think, whenever I write a new song, that's just where I'm at now, and it's where I'm resonating. So that's just always how I'm gonna feel. Yeah.
And do you produce all of your own tracks as well?
So I'm getting more into production over the last couple of years. So the last 2 EPs that I've put out, I co-wrote all the music with Gio Jordan. On the Odyssey EP, there was a couple tracks that I produced fully myself, demos, and then brought them to Gio to kind of finesse, because he's just absolutely incredible. So I'm definitely getting a lot more comfortable in that way, just getting my ideas out and really being behind that side of things. I've always been involved, but more just with ideas and direction, and now I'm actually able to sit in the studio and really build the song into what I want it to sound like, which is really exciting. So I'm trying to carry that into my album process right now too, just being a lot more hands-on with everything. And I think it's really helped me to create a more authentic sound and sonic to what I'm doing. I think for a long time, I grew up on a lot of singer-songwriter, folk, country music, Celtic music.
James Taylor,
read that. Carole King, all these things.
Same as me.
My mom only played James Taylor growing up.
My dad the same.
Really? Okay, amazing.
Mexico is one of my favorite ones.
Yes. And then like Christian rock stuff, that was all she ever played. So it kind of, when I left home and started really discovering a whole world of other music, I really went in a completely other direction in the music that I was making. And it's really beautiful now, because I think I went from almost resenting and pushing away those early influences to now welcoming them back and having this full circle moment where I'm really owning who I am and my upbringing, and realizing that that's actually what makes me quite unique is all of that, because, you know, I did have quite a unique upbringing growing up there. So I'm really excited about the music that I'm making now, because it just is feeling very true to who I am.
Amazing. Yeah. I can't wait to hear.
Yeah, same.
When can we hear?
Well, at some point next year.
Okay.
Yeah. We're still in the early process. I'm actually about to go on tour as well for another artist for a couple months, doing some vocals. So I'm kind of putting the album mode on a bit of a hold until I have the space to just fully dive back in. But for now, there's tons of music that is out there. So I'm trying to remember that I don't need to force music out straight away. I think for artists, a lot of times we put music out and it feels like it expires so quickly just because content is so quickly consumed nowadays. So I'm trying to remember that I just put out some music.
Yes.
And I need to take my sweet time with my album, because it'll actually be my debut album next year, I'm hoping. I've put out so much music over the years, but I've never done an album yet. Amazing. So that's my big goal for next year.
Exciting. Well, we can't wait. You might have kind of already answered this in different ways, but what do you think, what's the best thing, or what's your favorite thing about what you do today?
Oh, there's so many things.
Yeah, well, that's
there really
good.
Is.
List them.
There's a few different things. When it comes to myself and writing my own music, I think for me, writing feels like just doing a giant puzzle.
Really?
So I really go into a zone when I'm writing and I'm just piecing everything together, melodies, lyrics. And there is definitely a moment when it feels like you've put the last piece of the puzzle in and it just feels like, that's it. That's definitely one of the feelings I love. When it comes to co-writing, I absolutely love just connecting really deeply with another person. I love being able to have conversations with someone, have them open up to me, and then I'm able to kind of help them bring all of those experiences into a kind of song form. But there's definitely this deep connection that happens in the co-writing process, and that's something that I love.
A therapy session.
Yeah, I just love that connection with other people. And then the third thing just has to be performing it. Yeah, because that's kind of when it feels like it's all worth it, really. It's great to make all this music and kind of be in a dark studio somewhere hidden away, but it all makes sense when I'm on stage and I'm actually seeing people respond to it. Yeah, that's when I remember what my purpose is, for sure. So
great answer.
Thanks.
So you worked with some pretty incredible people, as we've talked about. What has been the biggest highlight so far, if you can isolate one?
The biggest
is it the Grammys?
I think in a way, on paper, it does feel like the Grammys. But if I'm being completely honest, the biggest accomplishments for me is anytime I release my own music. Like, that is my heart and soul. Yeah. Even if I'm playing a show to 100 people and they are all there for me and I feel that energy, that's what it's about for me. Yeah. Of course, the Grammy stuff is super cool to experience, but I mean, yeah, if I'm being truly honest, it's that. I don't need much more than that.
So we're going to be able to see you touring the album next year.
I mean, let's put it out there now. Let's plant the seed. Yes. So great. At some point, absolutely.
Have you written a song that you think, this is going to be great for this person, I want them to sing it, and like manifested that in any way?
I think I have in the past. So my history of songwriting, I used to do a lot of songwriting camps, and you're more so writing for commercial purposes or pitching. So in that sense, definitely have done that in those spaces, but I've kind of veered away from that for the past few years, just because I'm so much more fulfilled when I am writing for myself. Yeah. And there's definitely times when I am co-writing where I'm more sensitive to, if I am writing for the other person, I'm definitely more sensitive to what their choices might be or what their vibe might be. But for the most part, I'm kind of writing for myself. Like, that's when it makes the most sense. And yeah, for example, a lot of the new music that I've been writing, I wrote a song about celebrating the process of aging. And, the first verse is about my grandmother, and then the second verse is about my mom, and then the third verse is about me, and just how we look to other people and we celebrate them, and sometimes we forget to actually look at ourselves and celebrate ourselves aging. Because when you're a kid, you look at your grandmother and you know, her hands, and you just think she's the most beautiful person in the world. And you get older and we're taught all these unfortunate things about aging. And so I'm really fascinated by things like that, and things that feel really personal to me and my kind of experience of just being a human and a woman in the world, and figuring out, you know, what all these things mean and how I feel about them. So yeah, I think it just makes it's more fulfilling to me when I'm just writing straight from my heart and things that I'm contemplating, or
Nice.
Yeah.
Is there anyone that you would love to work with, collaborate with?
Let's just say James Taylor.
Oh, of course.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God. Yeah.
Like, that would just be surreal to
Yeah.
just even be in a room with him and just play and write. That would be incredible, I think.
Let's manifest it.
Yeah, let's plant another seed. We're planting lots of seeds.
We are, aren't we? Okay, what is your earliest jewellery memory? Can you remember the first kind of significant piece of jewellery that you might have got for yourself, or the first piece of jewellery that you put on? You were saying earlier on that you think that like your jewellery style has developed over the years.
Yeah.
Can you remember the first piece that you got that kind of felt, this is good, this is proper?
Well, I think I haven't thought about this literally until you're asking me. And the first thing that popped in my mind was my first communion. I grew up like a little Catholic girl in Nova Scotia. And for anyone who doesn't know about Catholicism, there's like a process that you go through when you're, I don't know, maybe like 7 or 8, basically,
right,
where you, lots of boring religious things. But basically, I got this beautiful gold bracelet that had my name engraved on it with like a little cross from my godparents. And I remember that being like wow, I felt so grown up.
Yeah.
You know, you wear the dress and you do the whole process in the church. And that would have probably been my first piece of jewelry. I felt very grown up and very special.
You still have it?
I do still have it. I think it's busted up and somewhere at home, but I remember coming across it last time I was at home, and I think I left it there because, you know, I'm sure at some point maybe I'll want to bring it with me somewhere, but at this point I'm like, it's tiny, so it's not.
I'm sure.
But sweet. I saw it and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Nice.
Yeah, quite sweet.
Okay, before we go into some quick fire questions, tell us what's next for you. We know you're writing at the moment, your album.
Yeah.
You're about to go on tour with another artist, you said.
Yeah.
What else have we got coming out?
I mean, they're
pretty big.
Those are the main things that I'm tackling. So enjoy tour, and then trying to just play as many shows as I can for myself as well right now, just to really get my new music out there, to keep pushing that new project. And then I think in the winter just go into a little album bubble mode and hide away and finish the album.
Exciting.
And reappear probably in the spring.
Nice.
And hopefully with a whole body of new music.
Amazing.
So that's kind of what I'm tackling now, which is exciting. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, some quick fire questions. They're incredibly intense, Laura.
Oh God.
I'm only teasing.
The moment I've been dreading.
So, silver or gold?
Silver.
We know silver. Look at so me. Obvious. Statement piece or subtle layers?
Subtle layers.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But you kind of end up creating a statement.
Yeah, so that's how I feel. It does look like one giant piece. I mean, when I say layering, it's not like 2 cute pieces, 3 cute pieces. It's a bit.
You've got about 7 necklaces on. But again, for those listening, Laura's wearing about 7 necklaces and I love it. It's not even a tangled mess.
Right?
Yeah.
I think it works.
It definitely works.
So I'm going for it.
Definitely. Dressed up or dressed down?
Oh, both.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You do you.
Yeah.
You've got to do it both. One thing from your significant pieces that you'd save in a fire?
The high school ring.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Nice.
The mum's ring.
I don't feel, this is now finished the sentence, I don't feel myself without.
My jewelry?
Yeah, well, you don't have to say that. Is that true?
I kind of, I think if we're just talking in like a slightly I don't know, light-hearted way. Like, yeah,
Nice.
every day I'm always wearing my jewelry. And
Great
and it is
answer for a
personal
jewelry
to me.
podcast.
Yeah, so
Laura
I'm not
Rowe doesn't
lying.
feel herself without her jewelry on.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like my mom, I guess.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel herself without her earrings.
Exactly.
Okay, my go-to outfit is
Trucker hat. Really into trucker hats right now, and full denim.
nice.
I wear a lot of denim.
Yeah.
I'm in like this weird trucker era.
Love it.
Yeah, country girl era where I'm just wearing full. You know, that's the Canadian tuxedo, full denim.
Is it?
That's what they call it, Canadian tuxedo.
Okay.
So I wear a lot of denim on denim and a trucker hat. That's my go-to.
Okay, nice. And finally, finish sentence. Jewelry makes me feel.
Jewelry makes me feel powerful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Amazing. Laura, you've been so great. It's been so nice to finally meet you. As I said, we've been fans of yours for a while.
Oh, well, likewise. Clearly, I'm covered in Daisy jewelry.
Best of luck for whatever's coming next, the writing and the tour.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on tour next year with your album.
Yeah,
amazing.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Laura.